But just now, instead of just congruent triangles, it's saying if your triangles or if your figures undergo some transformation, what's the same about them? So these are, that's really ugly. 9.5 is congruence transformations. So I'm going to give you a picture. I don't even think you need to draw this picture with me. You're welcome to if it would be helpful to you. I'm just going to pull it from a picture I took earlier. Real quick so that it doesn't take so long to walk through. Okay, so we're just going to look at this real quick. It says the composition meaning a group of transformations. So in this case, this is a reflection and a rotation. So they say the composition R over N after the lowercase r of 90 degrees about P of LMNO equals GHJK. Okay, and here's the picture they give you. Think about what that's saying. A reflection over line N after a rotation of 90 degrees about point P, okay, of this figure. So my pre-image is LMNO. My image is GHJK. So LMNO became GHJK. The question is what angles are congruent and what segments are congruent, because this is a congruence transformation. It took one figure, it reflected it, and it rotated it, and it will be the exact same figure, just lying in a different position, okay? Here's the thing. Technically, you don't need a picture, right? This is telling you what's happening. So you should be able to tell me right now, without even looking at that picture, which segments are congruent and which angles are congruent. Do you remember how to do that? How?
L is congruent to G.
Right. So you're just matching up your first letter with your first letter, okay? So it is true that LMNO first rotated 90 degrees, okay? This would be a 90-degree angle from here to here. And then it flipped over, right? So this angle flipped over and is now this angle. So I can say, just starting from the beginning, that angle L would be congruent to angle G, angle M would be congruent to angle H, and so on and so forth, right? We know what angles match up without even having to see the picture, but the picture just kind of confirms what we're looking at, okay? Same thing goes with the segments. Which segment is congruent to LM? LM is congruent to GH. LO would be congruent to what? GK. Okay, so that's the first part of it, is just recognizing that even after you do these reflections, rotations, all of that, you still have corresponding parts that are congruent, and just figuring out what are those corresponding parts that are in fact congruent, okay? So if you take two or more rigid motions, like a reflection, a translation, a rotation, if you take two or more of those that are rigid motions, okay, so their size doesn't change, you will have congruent figures from your first figure all the way through to whatever the last figure becomes. They're going to be congruent, okay? So let me give you this example. So we're going to say you have point R at -1, 3. And S is at 3, -1. Okay, so there's one segment. I'm going to switch colors just so you can see I'm working on a different segment here. Then C is going to be at 0, 1. And G is going to be at -2, -2. And then our last segment, we're going to put a point at 1, 1. So that's V. And then at 3, -3 is B. Okay, so you have 3 different segments here. I want to know which pair of figures is congruent. Okay, so there's 3 figures there. Which 2 are congruent? And what is the transformation? What's the rigid motion, the set of rigid motions maybe, that will get us from one to the other? So looking at this right now, can you tell which 2 are the congruent 2?
The blue and the red.
I heard 2 different answers.
Oh. The green and the red.
The green and the red would be the 2, right? If you just think about like the length of it, if I went from S to R, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 up and 2 over. If I went from G to C, it's 1, 2, 3 up and 2 over. If I go from B to V, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 up and 2 over. So the 4 and 2 are going to get you the 2 congruent ones. So that's going to be red and blue that are the same. So right now you have nothing. Did I say blue? Red and green. The blue means nothing to us. The blue is junk. You can just get rid of it. If you're drawing it out, you don't even need to draw it out. You can just ditch the blue altogether. So our job here is figure out what transformation is happening. So I want to go from RS to VB. Can you tell me the rule that would get us from RS to VB? And there's not one rule, okay? There's multiple rules that could get you there. So don't think that if your answer is different than the person next to you that you're wrong. It's like the one that Meg was asking about earlier, right? The book said one thing, I said another. They're both correct. It's just how are you seeing it? Okay, so in this setup, if I want to get from RS to VB, what would you do? Michael?
Use a glide reflection.
A glide reflection, okay. And how would you get there? What would your glide be?
We glide two, or
To where?
it depends. What's there?
Is this flashing still?
A little bit, yeah.
Is it annoying? Do you want me to turn this on? You're okay? Okay.
Which one's our pre-image again?
The pre-image is the red, RS.
So we go 2 to the right, so we have +2.
Okay.
And then we go down.
You'd go down 2. Yeah. Okay, so if we were going to do a translation of 2, 2, what are we reflecting over? X equals
0.
1, right? If you do the 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you end up at that same place. You're going to reflect over X equals 1. So one option is a reflection over X equals 1 after a translation of 2, 2. How many of you saw it that way? Okay. Yeah.
Wait, so for the translation, would it be 2 -2 because you're going
Yes, sorry, 2 -2. My bad. You're right. Okay, that's not the way I see it. Does someone else see it a different way? That's not to say this is wrong. That's a good answer. What'd you see, Sarah?
0, -2,
Mm-hmm.
and then reflect over X.
Y-axis, right? The vertical axis. So you could say X equals 0 or the Y-axis. That's the way I would do it also. I would say it's a reflection over the Y-axis after a translation of 0, -2. Okay, so you have options. These are both good answers. You could do either one of those. You could even, in fact, if you wanted to, instead of saying the x-axis or the y-axis, you could say x equals 0 here. Either one of those would be fine. Does that make sense? So you're just coming up with how can I get from my pre-image to my image. Technically, because it doesn't say where you had to start, you would probably put this behind them. You would probably say for both of them, we went from RS and it became VB. Because that way it tells you which one was your pre-image and which one is your image. Okay, so when you write the rule, just don't leave those letters off. Questions on that? Okay. How about this one? I don't know what I wrote as, yeah, I did. Third example here. If I give you so point T is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5, 2. Oops. Okay, so that's point T at negative 5, 2. E is at negative 2, 4. And then W is at negative 1, 1. Okay, so that's one figure. The second figure, J, is at 2, negative 1. Q is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, negative 4. And then V is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 3. 5, negative 3 for V. Okay, now for this one, let's say I tell you that triangle JQV maps onto triangle EWT. Okay, so JQV maps onto EWT, and I want to know a rule for that. First thing you should be looking at here is remember same orientation versus opposite orientation. If I'm saying JQV, so J to Q to V, what direction am I going? Clockwise or counterclockwise? That's counterclockwise, right? That would be counterclockwise. Then look at EWT. From E to W to T, what direction am I going? Clockwise. So if there is clockwise for one and counterclockwise for the other, what transformation has to be a part of this? Not a rotation. That has same orientation. A reflection, okay? So this is either a straight reflection or a glide reflection, because those are the only two that we know that have a reflection in them. What do you think it is? It's a glide reflection, okay? It has to slide somewhere first. So I know that J and E are my corresponding angles. Those are my congruent angles, right? Which is why we did that first example. So I'm going to have to slide somewhere and then flip over. Do you see where that slide should be? How about right there? Would that work? If you go up 5, okay? So I know we're doing a translation. What does up 5 look like for a translation? The other way, because we went up 5, right? So that's your y value. So 0, 5. What's my reflection going to be over then? The y-axis, okay? So you can say a reflection over the y-axis, or if you like to say a reflection over x equals 0, that's the same thing, after a translation of 0, 5. Okay, and we started with JQV, and that becomes EWT. Okay, so this would be my rule. Questions on that? Okay. One more. Hold on.
Is this one we're going
Is that good, Sire?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. De nada. Okay, so for this one, you have triangle NAW. So N is at 0, 1. A is at 3, 2. W is at 1, negative 2. Okay, then you have this other triangle, PRQ. P is at negative 1, 2. Oops, right where my N is. R is at 0, negative 1. And Q is at negative 3, negative 2. Okay, so here's what I will tell you about this one. We're going to say triangle WAN maps onto triangle PQR. Okay, we have to figure out what is that mapping. Is it a translation? Is it a reflection? Is it a rotation? Is it a glide reflection? What is it? Your best bet on these is check your lettering. So WAN is going what direction? Counterclockwise, okay? PQR is going what direction? Counterclockwise. So is there a reflection happening here? No, unless it's a double reflection, unless it reflected and reflected again, which is possible. But it's not just going to be a reflection or a glide reflection, okay? Which means this is either a translation, a slide, or a rotation. Which one do you think that would be? Rotation. Okay, now here's the question. What is the rotation? What are you rotating around and how many degrees, right? Because when we write a rotation, it looks like this. Some number of degrees around some point of triangle WAN becomes triangle PQR. Can anyone tell me the point it's rotating around? The tricky part about this is don't try to think of the whole triangle. Pick one point.
R. N.
Not R, not N. Okay, pick one point that corresponds. So N and R correspond to each other. How does N rotate to get to R? Is that a hand up, Stefan? What? It's 180 degrees around what point? 0, 0, right? So from the origin, here's our point of rotation. It went 180 degrees. So we would say it's a rotation of 180 around the origin. Does that make sense? If you think about it, this is 0, 1. And we said when we rotate 180 degrees, we just change positives to negatives. So it'd be a negative 0 or 0. Negative 1 would be what it becomes. And that's what N did to become R. Okay? Questions on that? So you're just trying to identify what transformations are happening for a lot of today. Okay?